2025 has concluded and we made 248 different bids for care agencies in the UK. Now, many of these bids for tenders and contracts were wins, but there were also losses as well. These are 3 things that we have learned in 2025 that you need to include and implement in your strategy going forward in 2026 to grow your business. Now, my name is Divine. I'm the founder of A Short Bid. We exist to help health and social care agencies to win contracts and tenders with the government that will help them grow their business. Lesson number 1, you need to keep an eye out for contract and tender alerts. When a tender comes out or when a contract comes out, typically the government will let you know in one way, shape or form. It's becoming more and more complex to do that because when contracts come out or tenders come out, depending on the government, they all use different portals. You have Intent Host, you have Pro Contract, you've got Oracle. There's all different sorts of platforms out there depending on the government and the local authority in Manchester or London, different boroughs in London, Hertfordshire. They all use different portals, which makes it difficult for you, especially if you're a business owner or your agency has different branches. It makes it difficult to actually keep an eye out on these alerts. Even if you don't have different branches, your job is to go out there and deliver care and support, not necessarily keep your eyes on the portal every single day to be looking out for alerts. Again, it's difficult. The challenge here and the reason why this is very important is because we've seen companies miss out on important tenders and contracts that they would have won, or at least they would have been suitable for had they seen it. But because the registered manager or the director or the nominated individual is out delivering care, they're on the field, or they're handling 1 or 2 safeguarding concerns, or they're preparing for an inspection, they miss out on the tender, which is very crucial because these tenders will come up every so often, every 2 years, every 3 years. If you're lucky, it might come up every year. So in 2026, you need to make sure you have a method and a process to ensuring that you are actively informed when a tender or contract comes out in your area of choice or in your service of choice. This is why we've built BidSuite. So BidSuite is a platform that's integrated to all these different portals. It has a database of all live tenders as and when they come out in health and social care. If that's domiciliary care, supported living, passenger transportation, or housing and support, companionship, end of life care, all these contracts, and we send alerts out immediately that the tenders come out. And the best part is it's free. So make sure you click on the link in the bio or description and register to receive these alerts, because in 2026 you will need to make sure you do not miss out on a contract for your business. Now, point number 2, you need to consider expanding your service offerings. Now, what do I mean by that? At the core, for the most part, care agencies are domiciliary care or home care providers. We all know the issues with dom care. If it's not staff leaving, the staff turnover, if it's not client turnover, for 1 week, you could have 1,000 hours per week. And then the very next week, it comes down to 500. It's not the logistic challenges of traveling from A to B for 30-minute calls and an hour call, then traveling another 30 minutes here. Many challenges exist within dom care, as with every service offering. But the challenge here is that if you stick to just dom care, you're not allowing your business, for the most part, to actually grow. You're not creating a path for growth in your business. We've seen a lot of care agencies be very good at this by considering adding supported living. For example, from dom care, they can now provide supported living, which means that they're providing the accommodation, and also for the individuals residing in that accommodation, for the most part, they can also dictate the number of hours of care and support that they can give to that individual in the accommodation. For example, you're providing accommodation for, let's call them individual A, and the individual A requires 24-hour round-the-clock support as well. In that circumstance, you're not having to deal with your staff traveling A to B during the day. There's no stop and start. Client turnover is a lot higher. The hours is a lot higher. It's more consistent. It's more predictable for the most part, as opposed to domiciliary care. Now, this doesn't necessarily always have to be supported living against dom care. It could also be other offerings such as patient transport. We have clients that are now providing patient transportation. Your clients that you're delivering home care to sometimes also need transportation to go to appointments, to go to day centers, wherever the issue or the case may be. Rather than utilizing other agencies or other companies to provide that transportation, you can simply add on patient transportation to your specialism in CQC, and then also give the council here another service that you're offering, so they can utilize you for the transportation services as well as the care services for the same client. So you're expanding your service offering. Lesson number 3, location. Consider expanding into a different location. Now, I say this very carefully because when people hear this, they begin to imagine, okay, I'm just going to bid for tenders and contracts across all of England and just see what I can get. For the most part, this is not going to work and you're going to end up failing many of those bids. So don't waste your time, your resources, your funds bidding aimlessly. When I say location, many agencies are very successful in scaling their business, typically starts from areas where they have staff, areas where they have existing accommodation if it's supported living they're providing, or areas that are close to their core headquarters or their core office. For example, if you have an office in region A, going from region A to region G or F, you can go from region A to region B, because for the most part it's a 15-minute drive away, 30-minute drive away, maybe even an hour drive away. So you're literally only going to a neighboring county or a neighboring borough. I say this because agencies that just seem to be very standstill are those ones that only have one borough and they put all the eggs in that borough, because anything happens, if that borough for some reason stops giving you clients, you might have a safeguarding issue, whatever the case may be, you may all of a sudden just hours might drop for your staff, and that puts you in a very difficult position. It's not always the fault of the borough or the local authority because they can't always control everything, but these things do happen. When these things happen, we find that the agencies that are not really affected are the ones that are already expanded into other boroughs and other local authorities. For example, this year alone, we got a client a contract or a tender for supported living in central Bedfordshire. And that same client also got another supported living tender in Bedford. These are neighboring regions. They're providing the same service within the same county, but the local boroughs in that counties are completely different. So if anything happens to local authority number 1, they've still got local authority number 2 as a backup, and then potentially local authority number 3 as also a third backup as well. So lesson number 3 is very crucial. Look into expanding into neighboring boroughs, neighboring counties, and don't just put all your eggs in one single local authority. Again, we post and share alerts completely for free. So all you need to do is click on the link in the bio, check out the description, register your business so they can receive alerts on a daily basis, so you don't miss out on any domiciliary care contracts, supported living contracts, patient transportation contracts, or social housing contracts. Also, I'm going to be sharing these contracts on this page, so make sure you like, you share, and you also subscribe.